who have pushed me up to this, to make this presentation a possibility. I would like to mention two names, Mr. Arvind Dangi and CMD, Mr. Sushil Goyal. Thank you so much. So my topic is future of blended learning. What is the objective of this presentation? It is not to promote or advertise this mode of teaching or learning. It is actually to spread an awareness that our mental programming needs to change, as human tendency is to resist change. Because this particular paper has actually, I developed this idea of presenting this paper basically because I've been talking to a lot of parents and they were not very comfortable with the idea that the students are being online so much and they're having so much of screen time. Therefore, I planned this paper to tell our general audience that blended learning is something which we have to imbibe with time, because we have to evolve, because the only truth in this world is change. And whether we like it or not, we have to develop this change, because change is something which is actually the only permanency in this world. The second objective of this particular presentation of mine is an effort to make human mind see blended learning in a new light of positivity. Because people don't see blended learning in a very positive way. They say that, why should my child be addicted to a device? Why should my child be online for so long? So I just want to clear certain myths about blended learning, about hybrid mode, because there are a lot of people who do not differentiate between the two. And I don't blame them for that. So I just want I want my audience, because my paper is not very technical, but I want it for a general audience of mine who might not know as to what is the basic difference between a blended learning and a hybrid learning. So let us first understand that. But before talking about the blended learning or the hybrid learning, I would like to tell you about the Feynman technique. Richard Phillips Feynman, got the Nobel Prize in 1965. He was a physicist. But he's known as the great learner because he believed, he's actually known as the great explainer. Actually, he's known as a great explainer because he believed into the concept that any complex thing should be made very simple, and that is known as, you can say, the superpower of any teacher. Any subject can be complex for anyone, but how you deliver it, how to make it more simple, is the basic idea of Feynman technique. He said that whenever you grab some idea, you should explain as if a small child can understand. And that can only happen if you reread it. If you go on, in our ancient technique, in Hindu technique, we have got this repetition of mantras. And let me tell you, my friend, repeating anything is not bad, because we have also learned our tables, our arithmetic tables with repetitions. So repeating anything is not bad. So if you repeat, reread, rewrite, that subject will be yours. Yes, thank you so much. So this is how you can simplify. Then you can identify your subject. You can then talk about it to people, and you can be very crisp, because the thing is that the attention time of anyone is not much. And therefore, I'm trying to make my presentation also as simple as possible. And you should always ask yourself as well as people, why am I understanding this? Why I'm looking at this presentation? How I should improve myself? If you keep on asking yourself so many WH questions, I'm sure you're going to get the right answers. You might be thinking as to why I am talking about Feynman technique when I should be talking about the future of blended learning, and I should be telling you some jargon of IT. But I'm not here for that. I'm here for telling you that blended learning does not make your subject more complex. It actually makes your subject more easy. And I think if that is message, if I'm able to convey to my audience, that is you, I think I'll be quite successful in presenting this presentation. Now, here on the screen, you can see that what is the evolution, what has been the evolution of blended learning, or you can say technology in education. So if we start with 1819 to 1900, we have this chalk and talk technique where we used to have chalk and we kept on writing on the board and getting all our hair white, though my hair is still white now, not because of the chalk, but because of my age now. So then there is 1920, which started with in New York, started this broadcasting. I think 1920 was a time when New York, that is USA, started using the technology by using it, using a broadcast, that is using radio as a technique. And then actually in 1960s, the blended learning came into existence, but nobody came to know about it in 1960s. It was much later that we adopted that technique. So the story goes on, it goes to 1930 when there was this OHP, or the overhead projections was there. And then in 1984, there was this public schools were there in United States where you just had one huge computer. I remember in I think 80s, I'm from a very small town, and we had this huge computer, which was the size of a whole room. And we were asked to wash our hands and feet before entering that computer room. So from that stage to having a small device in my hand is a big journey, which I have seen and been a witness to. So 1984, the schools had this technology. And then in 1996, we had this NASA physicist who had this privilege of using computers. And now slowly, it now has entered, in late 90s, actually, it has already entered our home. But the blended learning mode, or this hybrid learning mode, whatever you want to call it at present, before I make the two terms very clear to you, is actually, thank you to Mr. COVID, that we actually became more techno-friendly. So first, let me tell you what is the similarity between this what you call the blended learning and the hybrid learning. So the similarity is that both are an approach, and both support digital tools, instructions, and offline traditional teaching as well. They both do it. So now you might be asking as to what is what is the difference then? The difference is that the same individual learns both in person and online if we are talking about blended learning. The same individual learns both in person and online. Sometimes he is in person and sometimes he is online. That is known as the blended learning. Then in hybrid mode, what happens that the offline learners and the online learners are different individuals. In blended, they are the same individuals, whereas in hybrid, they are different individuals. That is, some people are offline and some are online. Some people call it as concurrent learning also, as we also do in PCTI college. Then in blended learning, the second difference is we mainly focus on incorporating distance learning with traditional instructions, meaning that the same individual, in some chapters, they might learn as an online technique, and in some they learn as offline. So that is the basic difference in blended learning. Sometimes online, certain chapters online, and certain chapters traditional mode. This is basically known as blended learning. Whereas in hybrid mode, focus is on incorporating any possible learning technique, no matter if it's online or offline. That is, different individuals are used. Depending upon the individuals, you decide the technique in hybrid mode. So there is a slight difference between hybrid learning and blended learning. Blended learning, personally speaking, I feel is a much more comprehensive technique which one should use, because it depends upon the content. It depends upon the faculty like me, whether I want to teach that subject. Suppose I want to teach you titration. you cannot be taught titration online because I have to hold your hand. I want to show you that your drops are dripped properly. I have to tell you how to do it. But then only certain topics are there where I would like to hold your hand and where I want to teach you properly. And there I need your offline mode, but otherwise online is fine. And that is known as blended learning. So what are the false challenges or fears of today's? Many a times, people say that, my God, there is so much of technique. I mean, my child will be disrupted. My child will be having so much of screen time. But let me tell you, my friends, it's not so. Because technology doesn't make any subject cumbersome. It doesn't make any subject complex. It is helping you to make it more simple. You have to understand it first. Because what I feel that the teachers, us, if they say that we have to manage email, we have to manage pen drive, hard disk, handwritten notes, all things, it's such a big thing. You cannot have online. But what I want to tell you is blended learning is the need of the hour. Just at the beginning of the session, Dr. Reddy told us that technology is something which we have to adopt. And I'm telling you time and again, if you would have stuck up with talk and chalk technique till date, things wouldn't have happened as it has happened right now. So we have to adapt this change. You have to accept the change, because acceptance is something which will make you more comfortable. You can see a small image on the screen that in turn, this is Robert De Niro was the hero of this movie, and he was a young intern. And after his retirement, he took a new job and he became an intern, and he impressed Anne Hathaway. And he impressed, in fact, everyone in his company, though he was the oldest person over there, because he had experience. So let me tell you, my friends, your experience, if you are a teacher and you're thinking blended learning or online teaching will jeopardize your job, let me tell you, friends, it's not going to jeopardize your job, because experience never goes out of fashion, my friends. Now, what are the challenges and why it should be adapted or adopted is because the child might be sick, or the child might not be in the mood to study, but he has to be in the school or college from 8 to 5. Why should he be? Why shouldn't we grow up? If a child is sleepy, maybe he was sick at night and doesn't want to go in the morning to his school, but the parents push him to the school. Why should that be? Why shouldn't he just relax? Why shouldn't he be in sync with the teacher? Why shouldn't he just talk to his teacher that, ma'am, if you're free from 8 to 9, can we just catch up? Why can that be happen? Why shouldn't a person keep on jotting notes after notes? Why can't the material be free to her? So all these challenges, and if the schools are closed. You have heard about COVID, Mr. COVID. You heard about Omicron. I don't know how many Omicrons and Zomicron are going to come. We don't know. So shouldn't we be prepared for everything? Shouldn't we be all full of gadgets? And should we be mentally prepared to face one more closure? I mean, it's okay. I know one should talk positive, and I hope it never happens, but it does happen. Everybody knows about it. It has happened 100 years back, and it's going to happen. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not a predictor. So we should be prepared. We should be techno-friendly, and experience will help us to become a better teacher, a better facilitator. I think teacher is an outdated word now. So what is the solution? Solution, my friend, according to me, is blended learning, because the one reason is the learning space is equipped with a mobile phone, with internet. Somebody kindly help me to change the screen. Yeah, these were the challenges. These were the challenges that I just talked about. So can we go to the next one? Yeah, solution. Yeah. So this is this learning spaces equipped with mobile phone should be there. Everybody has a mobile phone. The person who picks up my garbage also has a mobile phone, and I too have a mobile phone. He also has an internet connectivity. I also have an internet connectivity. So I think we are actually on the same plane. We are actually resonating. Actually, we all are resonating in the same plane because we all are connected through a net. Though, as Dr. Reddy also said, that our private rooms, or I can say the privacy of ours will be compromised, that's for sure. But then there is a Hindi saying कि कुछ पाने के लिए कुछ खोना पड़ता है, तो थोड़ा सा कुछ खोना पड़ेगा क्योंकि हमको आगे बढ़ना है. Communication and engagement between teachers and students continues beyond classroom, which I just talked about it, that in a blended mode, because in a blended mode, the communication doesn't end in the classroom. I think the students are more connected with the teachers online, because I have been teaching offline as well, and I'm teaching online as well. And I feel that my online students are better connected to me than my offline, because they used to go after my lectures were finished. But now they know that I can message me anytime and I'm going to reply them back. So now that I'm taking online classes, they are more connected to me. So the transformation. So I was telling you about Mr. COVID. Dr. Reddy also said that Mr. COVID has taught us a lot of things. And I also feel that he is my guru. So Mr. COVID-19 has taught us many things. And the USA teachers are regularly using tools like Kahoot, a game-based learning platform, YouTube videos, even TikTok. And on basis of my own experience, when I teach BEVAE 181 to IGNO students, that is environmental sciences, whenever I tell them that, look, you know what, between 8,000 to 9,000 feet, the density of the organisms become very less. And it's to quickly ask, ma'am, then what type of organisms would exist? I don't take a minute before showing them because my laptop is connected, I quickly show them a video as to what type of creatures are there between 8,000 to 9,000. If I would have been teaching offline, I don't think I would have been that quick. That's my take. Some teachers took the initiative that I'm talking about in USA. They have taken an initiative already to flip their classroom. There is a flipped classroom technique which allows the students to learn new material at home via online tools. That is, they just tell them what they have to learn the next day. They explore the topic. They come up with a lot of new ideas, because I think that we just are telling them what we already know. Maybe they come up with something which we don't know. So why not learn from them? Because we are not the facilitators. We are no more the teachers. We are the facilitators now. There should always be a two-way process of learning. Thus, depending upon spending class time on group work, class discussions. So when they come up and they meet me, we have got a lot more things to discuss rather than just discussing our chapters. Now, what is the future? We are talking about the future. So according to the survey in USA, more and more children are learning something new every day. And the reason being that they have more technology at hand, which they never had, because there was a mindset that, look, no screen time, no screen time. Now the parents don't say that. They have forgotten that dialogue altogether. The future is not learning anything that has come down as traditions, but using innovation. Innovation is the key word now. You cannot do things which you have done in that old rigmarole way. You have to forget, you have to unlearn to learn. And that is the take today, if I can do that. Thinking out of the box, because when we tell someone how this is to be done, we are restricting, we are boxing his thinking. This is the way you have to do. If you tell them, this is the work, you do the way you want to do. You know, if you tell them that, then what happens? That they come up with brilliant ideas. I'm telling you. And they say, yes, that can work, because we have never thought about it. It is with blended mode that we can truly explore the potential of children, as the world's information is just a click away. We as teachers, we as facilitators do not want to lose control. So generally, press on the traditional idea and oppose the blended mode as whatever we did was right. हमने जैसे सीखा था, हमने जैसे पकड़ा पड़ा था, वही सही है. It's not the way, my child, my friends, it's not the way. The children are much more brilliant, and they know what is there. So, okay. So we are talking about, there was a survey that was done on professional development in various modes. And we came to know that about 58% of the professionals which consisted of teachers and principals, they said that blended learning, 58% wanted that blended learning should be the future takeaway. Then 31% of the principals and professionals said that they will be promoting remote instructions. Then 31% said that they're teaching remote and in person simultaneously, they will promote this technique. And then 19% said that they don't offer any professional development. EdWeek Research Center for Wisconsin, USA has trained 2,300 teachers through a virtual mentoring program, and a free online course on blended learning launched at the start of the pandemic and went from 500 users to 30,000. And I would proudly want to tell you, my friends, that we, the faculty of PCTI, also did a free online workshops for teachers pan-India and trained more than 20,000 teachers online using various softwares as per their comfort. This image tells you that teaching online is not just the only thing that you're going to do, because teaching online is just the tip of the iceberg. That's just the 10% of your whole teaching episode. The other 90% is the courseware that you prepare, is the type of thinking that you're going to tell your students. It's how you're going to mold their clay-like minds in your hands. That's how you're going to decide your lesson plans. That's how you decide that what you're going to tell them, how you're going to tell them, and that takes 90% of your energy, of your brain, of your intelligence. Because many people think that just teaching online is just coming online and just delivering your lectures. It's not so, my friends. It's just 10%. All the work that goes behind the camera of your laptop or of your phone, is that 90% of the toiling what the faculty does. Let me tell you, my friend, that if you project from 2018 to 2024, I can tell you that blended learning or online teaching is going to go leaps and bounds. From 3,900 crores, it's going to go to 36,030 crores. If you talk about the online education, it is going to go from 1,119 crores to 12,365 crores of capital investment. If you're talking about online primary and secondary supplemental education. And if you're just talking about online education, then a survey has been done and it has been declared that 500 crore was the takeaway in 2018, and it's going to project it, or maybe more than that, 4,063 crores to 2024. So one has to be updated. So what are the change that has to be adopted? The concept of traditional education has changed radically. I'm sure you must, we are on the same plane now. With the rise of internet and usage, everybody is very handy about using new technologies. And let me tell you that we have already entered the revolution of online education, whether you like it or whether you don't like it. So it's better that you like it, and it's better that you equip yourself with the latest technologies like data science or like web designing, or like any other technologies, any other short courses or long courses, whenever you have a free course, whenever you have a free time, I think you should equip yourself, because everything is available. According to the most recent survey, Bobson Survey Research Group have confirmed that 30%, my friends, 30% of higher education students in the USA are taking at least one distance course. And that is the reason I'm telling you that PCTI has also been awarded the Global Nodal Center for MCA, that is Master in Computer Application. As students, this can be a useful learning method for sharpening your skills in difficult subject, or maybe you can take a remedial classes. And I want to cite this example of, you must be knowing Shubham Jaglan. Shubham Jaglan is from a very small village of Haryana. But just with the help of YouTube, because many parents say that if my child is going to watch YouTube, how he's going to play. But I think Shubham Jaglan is an example, because he watched YouTube, because he pressed his father to buy a computer for him, he practiced golf and he became the world champion at 13, not because he was given a big he was in Delhi, or he was in Bombay or big metropolis. He was in a small village of Haryana, and Shubham Jaglan became the first youngest world golf champion at the tender age of 13 because of technology, because of the computer that his father bought, because of the YouTubes he kept on watching day in and day out, kept on practicing in the right proportion with dedication. So what is blended learning? It's flexible. You can talk to your teacher and you can tell him that, look, I'm free from 8 to 9. Are you free? We can all catch up together. It's as flexible as that. It offers a wide selection of programs. You can just, everything is just a click away. And I cite my own example. I have never been a baker. I used to love bread, but I never knew how to bake a bread. I just learned it on YouTube. I upgraded myself in 2020 more than I ever did. I have become more healthy as I never was, just because of technology, because I bought an application. And it is accessible, whether you're traveling, whether you're commuting, whether you are posted abroad, you can always opt for online education. And it also allows for customized learning, because generally what happens that when it's online, and because there are less number of students when they are online, so you can have a personal connect with the students, and the more the connection is there between the student and the teacher, more the learning happens. So I feel that the blended learning is more customized than just a traditional chalk and talk technique, and it's more cost effective. You must be you must know that. I mean, you must have experienced that online education, online courses always offers discounts. It always offers, you can pay on installment, and all this is, have you ever gone to a school and told the teacher that, look, told the principal that I'm going to pay your fees on installment basis? I don't think so. All the schools they have got their set plans, and you have to pay your fees for full, but online always have discounts options. So what Mr. COVID has done, every crisis presents an opportunity and develops an inflection point, and so has COVID and its variants, especially for education, that has given rise to blended mode of education. Screens have become the primary mode of content consumption for sure. For students, that indicates that classroom of tomorrow will have technology at its core. So all the students who have joined us, all the faculties who have joined us, I just want to give you a message that always upgrade yourself, always upskill yourself, always explore internet for something that you really love to do and you want to, because whenever you upskill yourself, that gets added up to your CV. The future will see us take a leap from the tradition one to many approach. We have already seen the evolution taking place right in front of our eyes. And it's a tradition one to many approach to blended learning, which is one-to-one learning experience, providing students the best of both physical and digital learning. Blended learning is a right blend between the traditional learning, as well as technology. So it depends upon the content, it depends upon the facilitators, how he wants to take it. So before winding up, I would like to tell you that basically there are 4 types of intelligence. One is IQ, that is how intelligent you are, how fast you can grasp a subject. The second is emotional quotient, that is how well you come out if somebody has maybe insulted you, how fast you come out from that insult, how fast you said let go, how fast you say that let go word. That decides your emotional quotient. Some people keep on brooding about that happened 5 years back. That means that EQ level is very low. And in today's world, your EQ level also should be very high. Then the future is not learned, then we come to social quotient. Social quotient, how will you measure your social quotient? How many friends do you have? I'm not talking about your Facebook friends. I'm not talking about your LinkedIn friends. They are just your associates. I'm talking about your friends. Friends are one whom you can knock the door at 12 o'clock at night and they'll say, yes, what do you want? And they won't throw water at your face. So those are friends and not your Facebook friends. So I want to tell you, just sit back and analyze yourself how good your SQ is. How many real friends do you have? If you don't have real good friends, make efforts. Learn a technique how to make good friends. There'll be a lot of lot of courses available even for that. And the last one is your adversity quotient. Adversity quotient is the persons who are surviving at present after COVID-19. So I want to congratulate you that you are live, kicking and thriving, because your adversity quotient is very high, because you have faced adversity and you have come out smiling out of it. Congratulate yourself and learn one skill every single year. So these are the references. Thanks so much.
Wonderful, ma'am. You increased our knowledge on all these aspects. Thank you so much once again. Now, our next speaker is Mrs. Smita Chokral. She is an associate professor. She is MSc in Computer Science, B-level from DOEACC, Google Certified Professional Trainer. She worked in Delhi College of Engineering in FOT, that is Faculty of Technology Department, in 2004 and 5, and joined PCTI Limited in 2007 as an associate professor and has a teaching experience that spans nearly 16 years. She is an approved academic counselor for BCA and MCA IGNO programs. She is serving the institution as a digital marketing consultant also. She has received Certificate of Appreciation as a resource person in DS PSR Rohini in 2020. And her today's topic is Role of Disruptive Technologies on Teaching Methodologies. Please welcome her. Over to Mrs. Smita ma'am.
Thanks, Rachna ma'am, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to interact with such a interactive audience. A very warm good afternoon to all the members who are sitting there, teachers, faculties, and I can see some parents also, and especially my students. So to me, the education is what basically it is considered as the highest level that we can give to the students. And if we can give as a teacher, we can give anything to the student, that is the education, or that is the tool, or we can say that is a kind of, asset that we can give to the students. And if a student has the power of education, It means we are giving wings to fly in the sky. Keeping this idea into the mind, let's go ahead and understand that how to be disruptive. So welcome to be disruptive. I have partitioned the entire discussion into three main phases. That is, what is disruptive technology, who drives the education system, and then at last, we will be having some key takeaways that we can understand later also. Then comes, what is disruptive technology? Disruptive technology is what basically it implies a systematic change in an organization to integrate digital technologies and process around all functional areas. Means we have to get into the entire components of the education system. So this transformation takes place with the disruption of the current products as well as services. Disruptive technology have changed the internal working model of the education system as per the learner's expectations. The digital modes of operation lead to much shorter turnaround times and extraordinary possibilities in the scalability. Digital disruption and digital transformation are the two sides of the same coin. So let's be disruptive further. Sometimes disruptive technology, they are also known as a digital disruption. So digital disruption is the effect caused by the digital technologies and emerging business models. Changes the fundamental expectations and behavior of learner is the outcome of disruptive technology. Disrupts the course content and teaching methodology digitally by using disruptive technology. Many companies that adopted digital technology are surviving only because of disruptive technology. Focus of digital disruption is on three important dimensions which are in front of you. That is redefined, reimagined, and re-strategized. Basically, digital disruption occurs when a collection of technologies change the landscape of business to the extent that markets and value proposition have to be redefined, reimagined, and re-strategized. Apart from this, digital disruption is forcing businesses to change how business is done, also making all businesses to become digital business. Next, please. Can anyone help me on this? Companies that have applied disruptive technology successfully are Apple, Google, Amazon, Nokia, YouTube, Netflix, Hotstar, Hulu, Spotify, and many more. So these companies have been impacted by disruptive technology. Disruptive technology impacted financial services also, along with the media and entertainment. What drives the education industry? So there are different components which are participating into the disruption of the education industry. Like the student and teacher, they can communicate with one another by means of disruptive technology at the part of education. We can make use of different multimedia tools and technologies to interact with the student. Apart from this, there are other aspects which are impacting the education industry, are like national and international. Government policies are also impacting the education industry. Economical factors, social and cultural impact factors are also impacting the education industry. What drives the education industry? It can be elaborated by means of two factors, that is demand and supply. Demand and supply are the two main factors which drive the direction of the education industry. Demand drivers include cost of education, opportunity cost of education, cultural mindset, government boost. On the other hand, supply drivers include availability of qualified workforce, government funding, change in the social outlook of campus, university versus college online. Elements of digital disruption. These 4 components which are entering into the funnel are actually the elements which are raising the concept of digital disruption at different level. So these 4 components are business, technology, industry, and society. So digital disruption can be imposed on any aspect of the education system. Teaching methodology. Either we are teaching at the part of school, college, institute, university, or any center. These different technologies or methodologies which are in front of you, we make use of it. And here comes the site where the digital disruption can be imposed. Either I'm taking some lectures or assigning some activities to the student in terms of action learning, team exercises, case studies, peer-to-peer exercises, field exercises, lab exercises when it comes to the IT, then the coding part always being applied at the part of lab. Storytelling is another amazing idea in the teaching methodology. Internship, coaching, industry visit, and video learning. So all these teaching methodologies are the site or the areas where we can apply the digital disruption at the part of education system. Only these are not the only areas, rather education system work with the good administration of other components also. So here comes the administrative part of the education system, which includes course registration, attendance management, IT operations, scheduling of meetings when you want to interact with your students and all, administrative and HR related or financial matter interaction we have to do. And chatbot is the most important feature that actually establishes a bridge between the student and the teacher. Here comes some elements of digital disruption. So the different leaves of this particular tree is giving you an idea about the elements of digital disruption, which will actively and dynamically play a very important role in actually implementing the digital disruption at the part of education industry. So technology, disruptive business model, innovation, different products or services in terms of education system, we can call it as a courses, online courses or offline courses. And the final thing is implementation. Until and unless by using the technology and innovative ideas, I will not transform all these things into my disruptive business modeling approach, the things will not work. So the point is what, that we have to anyhow, we have to go ahead. So disruptors build their products or services with a combination of new or existing technologies aided by a disruptive business model. So analyze the industrial and societal changes and their impact onto the digital transformation. Yes, it is not so easy to accept this kind of digital disruption at the part of education industry because we are already bounded with the traditional way of learning the things. So it becomes sometimes very difficult to unlearn the things. So yes, this challenge can be accepted to bring a change into the education system. And for that purpose, we need to shake up the existing technologies and system also so that we get disrupted. So if you are a digital disruptor, means you are consistently using the emerging technologies to improve the market competitiveness and streamline their businesses or education system. So ultimately, you are a digital disruptor. Yes, it is a challenge to bring a change into the education system by shaking the existing traditional teaching methodologies as well. Now comes the million-dollar question, that is how or what is the need of digital disruption? So in this regard, we have to choose one option out of the 2 available options. So now as the education system is growing day by day, so now it is not a choice for any school, college, institution or companies or any business organization, but now it has become the matter of adaptation. So either you can adapt with the changing scenario or you can perish. So digital transformation is a reality now more than ever. Significance of digital transformation includes, here is a statistics that shows the significance of digital transformation using disruptive tools. So the digital transformation market has grown at a compound annual growth rate of 22.7% from 2019, and it is expected to reach $3,294 billion by the year 2025. And the source is already in front of you that you can verify with the help of this .com, that is globalnewswire.com. This waves of digital disruption, it has started its journey from the year 1995 of using the disruptive technology. So there are a lot many industries that has been already disrupted in the year 1995, that is music, photography, video rental, and in the beginning of the 2005, print media, TV, travel, and HR industry has been digitally disrupted. Retail, banking, insurance, automotive, travel, education, telco, food, and healthcare industry, they are highly disrupted in the year 2015. And now every industrial sector will go through the digital disruption. It is being expected by the year 2025. The most critical digital disruption occurs with the advent or with the launch of smartphone. So anything is just a click away using smartphone. Then next, and the second most critical digital disruption occurs at the launch of internet. So internet has changed everything. Phones and internet change every aspect of the traditional business modeling. Technology, media, retail, and financial services, as they got highly digitally disrupted, so these companies got global also. And globalization means you are expanding to extreme level. Next, and the fourth most point is that is telecom, education, travel, and manufacturing industries. These are expanding day by day with the help of digital disruption, and it has changed the level of learner and customer also, because now the channel through which your customer or our audience or our learner they interact, they are also going to change. So aspirants are habitual to the content that is on demand, tailored to their preferences, and is easily available. So recently, digital disruption can be seen in healthcare, utilities, oil and gas, and pharmaceutical industries. Disruptive technology is playing its role in all walks of life in different aspects of the digital or education system as well. So let's talk about online learning in the regard of disruptive technology. So this disruptive technology has already transformed the way of how educational organizations provide their services. Online learning offers new opportunities both for students and educators. Second aspect of disruptive technology is applicable onto the competency-based approach of teaching. In this approach, we consider that all the student enters the education program with different skills, and each of them has different speed of learning. So the primary task is to measure these differences and create adaptive learning program. Third, the most amazing feature of disruptive technology is chat-based collaboration. So using chat-based collaborations, professors can have experts from their field to join the discussion online to speak with the students directly. Advancement in online learning technology are helping to make higher education more impactful and accessible to more people than ever before. Virtual reality. Virtual reality combines gaming and entertainment, which is the core part of any aspirant, any student, any learner. This is very realistic and cheap way to visit unthinkable scenarios. Virtual reality allows recreating very cheap yet realistic scenarios in medicine, archaeology, physics, and many more sciences. Another disruptive way of teaching of education system implies on artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence can use the algorithm that will help to personalize the learning experience. Artificial intelligence system can learn how a particular learner interact with the knowledge and analyze the need of an individual or the whole class. At the current level of technological development, AI system in disruptive education already can do personalized tutoring and moderate discussion. Project-based instruction, which is the another important aspect of disruptive technology. In this project-based studies, our students are use this project in a very effective way, or they take it as a very good way of learning the things in a handful or hands-on training way. So in education, because they bridge project-based instruction, they bridge the gap between the theory and the practice. So student also report being more engaged in coursework when case studies are included in their curriculum. Next comes augmented reality. Augmented reality in education, learner can get the possibility to understand the concept better thanks to the use of 3D model, in which the augmented reality allow adding a new layer of information to physical reality using a smartphone or tablet. Using this disruptive technology, teachers can provide attractive presentations that will attract the students' attention even in the case of an uninteresting topic. Next comes Internet of Things. Internet of Things has opened up a new whole world of possibility in the higher education. The increased connectivity between the devices and everyday things means better data tracking and analytics, and improved communication between student, professor, and institution, often without ever saying a word. It creates a more flexible and connected learning environment. So with the help of Internet of Things, technologies, predictive analytics can provide additional insight into how students are doing. STEM. Disruptive technology also includes STEM technology, in which the science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics are blended together, and they are focusing, this STEM approach is focusing in the schools these days, and program which motivate and encourage the student to perform case-based activities to deep learn a concept are mushrooming everywhere. Programs, you can jot down all these things which I'm going to cover now. Programs like UCode, which run in India's rural areas, teach artificial intelligence to the school children of classes 6 to 8. A full suite solution like AdSense seamlessly combine project-based learning with robotics, math lab, soft skill lab, augmented reality, virtual reality lab, programming, design thinking tools, and proper maintenance support. Next comes gamification. This is an educational approach which enhances learning outcome by using video game design, game element, and interactive feature in the learning environment. It increases the human engagement and makes learning more fun. It is a reward-based system where a student earns a badge or a sticker for every school activity that they do correctly. Minecraft, you can find it into the Play Store also. Mathematica are some of the popular gamification apps that are in use across many schools. Immersive learning, next one, which is the most closer to my heart also, that is immersive learning. Mixed reality tools like Microsoft HoloLens, Google Expedition, and Windows 10's mixed reality viewer blur the lines between the real and virtual world and provide experiential learning to the students sitting in the classroom. Many mobile educational augmented reality apps are being developed, which is especially useful in a country like India, which has around 29 million smartphone users already. Apps like Google Expedition take the user on a virtual tour across the world and provide multidisciplinary learning to the learners. Blockchain, without which this discussion can't be completed. So the blockchain technology is new in the space of education sector, but will soon become a very key technology aspect, especially in terms of digitally storing certificate and diplomas and personal data of applicants. The India government is pushing for this through Niti Aayog Project India Chain. You can Google search it and can find more information on this part. Next comes results achieved. Disruption is the extension of innovation. Out of the topic, whatever we have covered till now, this entire single slide will give you an entire idea what we have covered till now. That is innovation. The disruption is the extended part of innovation. Yes, disruption is an unstoppable force, and it is better to hold rather than ignore the digital disruption. Every industry is being digitally disrupted. So you can attract new customer by using the concept of digital disruption. Industries must digitally disrupt to deliver the best customer experience and attract new customers. Avoid the mistakes. Every time, whenever we do something, mistakes are the integral part of our work. So we can avoid the mistake committed by the companies which become disappeared due to ignoring digital disruption. So keep doing mistake to learn new things every day. Results achieved by the digital disruptors are in front of you. A study which was conducted by the Computer Associated Technologies says that the digital disruptors have achieved the following. I'm going from bottom to top. That is 1.5 times new business-based revenues are generating. So previously the percentage was only 23%, but now it has reached to the level of 37%. Cost reduction in back-end operation like supply chain and inventory management has been reduced, which is the good part for all the employer which are looking for such a kind of solution. So previously the cost was 50%. Now it has reduced to 35%. 2.5 times higher profit growth is there. So that's what all and every industry as well as the education system is looking for. So that growth rate is increased to 32%, and previously it was just 13% only. 2.5 times higher revenue growth than mainstream market. So you can see the statistic which is in front of you. Previously it was 11% only, and now it is 26%. So I think these facts and figures are actually giving you an idea about the things, how the things are improving by using the digital disruption. Now let's talk about how the industry people are talking. So these 4 parameters or 4 aspects which are in front of you that are actually reshaping the entire education system. So that is whatever we are doing, do it differently. Whatever we are doing, do it fastly, and explore more opportunities, and so that new things can be launched at the part of market. So the 5th annual MITR SMR academic expert and Deloitte study of digital business, they have revealed that the digitally mature organization not only innovate more, but also innovate differently. And these were the words that were also spoken by the Steve Jobs many times through their quotation and seminars and webinars. So by investing ecosystem and cross-functional teams, they play a very critical role. So digitally transformed organization innovate at a faster rate and disrupt the market with new products and services. The people or the employees who are working with the digital disruptors have more opportunities and possibilities to innovate regardless of what jobs they hold. Digitally transformed organizations collaborate on a constant basis with external partners to bring an innovation to the market. This graph which is in front of you, it is giving you an idea that now going forward, the average lifespan period of any organization as per the S&P index parameters, which give you the which generates the independent credit rating to the company, they have reduced the span period of the organization from 60 years to 18 years only. So this is possible because of digital disruption. So we have to work hard, we have to pull up the socks to apply the digital disruption at the part of education system. So David Mitchell has very beautifully elaborated this idea in terms of this quotation which is in front of you also, that is the ability to successfully engage with this disruption, can be the difference between thriving and sliding down the performance curve. Companies that got disrupted. So companies like Kodak, Blockbuster, BlackBerry, and Borders got disrupted and lost their edge in the industry because of their poor strategic decision and because they couldn't adapt to the digital disruption. So digital disruption is really an unstoppable force. Look out for the signals of digital disruption emerging in your industry. It is better to hold the digital disruption and plan for it. Learning, that means changes in the learner's need result in digital disruption. From where these changes come? So the changes comes from the expectations of the learners as well. So these learnings will help us to prevent the digital disruption wave from washing away our school, colleges, university, institution, or organization. So what characteristics do you think that the digital disruptor will reflect or will show? That is the challenge the existing state. Whosoever is applying the this digital disruption at their workplace or at the part of education system or at the part of organization, they not see it as a problem, rather they see it as a challenge. So they challenge the existing state, then create a new norm and define a new way to digitally transform the world, and then hold the new way of running your institution or college. So disruptive technology must be the core part of any educational organizational strategy. So they create a significant impact on the whole industry in the way the business is managed. So digital disruption is an unstoppable force, and it is better to hold digital disruption. Every industry is being digitally disruptive. Understand your industry disruption and retain the learner. Being a digital disruptor attracts new learner also, and which is always a part of it actually attracts the education industry all the time if we are generating the new learner. But this could be possible only because of the digital disruption technology adoption. So digital disruptors product or courses are adopted by learners with ease. Who are the digital native disruptor who have done it first or who won this concept after applying the concept of digital disruptor? So yes, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, they are called as a digital native disruptor. So digital native disruptors are highly focused on the learner's experience. They interact, transact, and build reliable services to consumer, primarily through the latest disruptive technology. So Netflix delivered content home without the need of DVD players. Apple has created the product that are ahead of its competitor, which is the good part for any company. So Amazon has transformed the traditional retail industry. Even the modus operandi of the retail industry has drastically, get improved or changed rather. So Google has created an ecosystem for everything, from operating system and search engine to devices. Education system is always always striving for the new things. So now e-learning is the household name because Mr. COVID has taught us so many things. So yes, to apply the e-learning concept at the part of organization, at the part of education system in a successful way, we need to firstly understand the students' needs. And when we talk about the students' need, it means we have to understand the entire demographics of the student also. And that demographics can be explained in terms of age, educational level of the candidate or the learner, and technological proficiencies as well. So define a successful learning outcome also. Whenever we are imposing any sort of digital disruptive technology into the education system, we have to evaluate it in terms of what outcome will be generated at the part of learner, at the part of student as well. Just imposing will not create the success for the learning system. So keeping this idea into the back end, that what outcome will be generated, that is the good part. Another important aspect of digital disruption or applying the disruptive technology onto the education system includes that we have to create an e-learning strategy also. So you don't have to, not only you have to present that e-learning strategy to the concerned person at the right level, rather we have to evaluate learning process at the keeping in view of the capability of our learner as well. So keep a narrow focus. So this could be done because whenever a person or a learner go to Google, then Google provide abundant amount of information to the learner. So we have to keep a narrow focus by providing some optional link and exercises to the student or the concerned person. E-learning software. E-learning software has added a new edge to the education system by providing accessibility at the global platform. So it provides accessibility at all level, either at the part of student, also at the part of educator. Outcome of using disruptive technology. When you are thinking about this heading, it means you have to think only in terms of education industry. So define the scope and impact of disruptive technology onto the education system. Recognize the pattern, because we have to do every time we have to analyze the thing. We can't make a static strategy and just keep on repeating the same thing. We have to, analyze the patterns which are going to be changed as per the requirement of our learner. So recognize the pattern of digital disruption and apply its transformative effect in your school, college, university, institution, or businesses or any organization. So observe disruptive technology and how they affect our daily operation into the education system. Design information capability for competitive advantage also. Unless our education industry will not be competitive, we can't survive into this cutthroat competition. So develop a digital business model for your institution, for your college. So this wheel of disruption, it keep on growing with the passage of time, because new things, new technologies, new apps are, keep on adding. So these wheel of disruption it will keep on growing with the passage of time. So within the wheel of disruption, the golden triangle is encircled by the other emergent technologies and sectors affected by the mobile, social, and real-time, such as big data, geolocation, cloud, and many more like this. Here is the answer in front of you, that who is said to be the disruptive. So if you are regularly saying that you are a digital disruptor, it means you are consistently using the emerging digital technologies to improve the market competitiveness and streamline their businesses or education system. So ultimately, you are a digital disruptor. So key to takeaway that we can just summarize or we can have in our mind, that is, first one is that yes, digital disruption is an unstoppable force, and it is better to embrace rather than ignore the digital disruption. Every industry is being digitally disrupted. Third, industry must digitally disrupt to deliver the best learners experience and attract new aspirants. Last but not the least, avoid the mistake committed by the companies which become extinct due to ignoring digital disruption. So with this, I'm going to finish the session. Thank you, everyone. If you have any question, you can raise the question. I'm up for the questions. You can type your question into the chat window also. You can raise hand also. Whatever mode suits you, you can use it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Over to Rachna, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So now it is a 15 minutes break for all of you. After 15 minutes, our eminent speaker, Dr. Neeta, will be on the stage, and her topic is how is AI transforming the education industry? But now it is a break time. Thank you.